Burn the excuses, build the life. They will bury you. If you let them, they will hand you a shovel and call it security. They will hand you a checklist and call it success. They will hand you a cage and smile as you step inside it. And here's the part they never tell you: the door was never locked. You've been holding the key since the day you were born, but they trained you to forget, trained you to believe you were too small, too late, too ordinary, trained you to believe that someone else was coming to save you. Let me say this plainly: no one is coming. No hero, no mentor, no miracle. It's you. It's always been you. And if you don't decide right now to burn every excuse, you will live in a world built by people who did. Excuses are the silent killers of greatness. They don't scream, they whisper. They sound like logic, like reason, like good advice. They sound like, it's not the right time. I don't have the money. I wasn't born with the talent. I've failed too many times. I'm just being realistic. You think those words protect you, but they're shackles, shackles made of soft comfort and quiet regret. And here's the truth they won't say on posters or Instagram quotes: your excuses are lies, beautiful, seductive lies, told to protect the parts of you that are afraid to be great. But destiny doesn't speak in excuses. It speaks in fire, and fire only answers to action. You weren't born to survive. You were born to build. To build a life that means something. To build a legacy that echoes long after you're gone. To build not just comfort, but conviction, not just safety, but significance. But that kind of life requires war. Not with the world, with yourself. With the lazy version of you, the doubtful version. The maybe tomorrow version. The one who hits snooze on destiny day after day, thinking you have time. You don't have time. You have a window, and it's closing. And the question is not, can I do this? The question is, will I burn what needs to be burned? Burn the excuses. Burn the myth that someone else's approval defines your worth. Burn the lie that your past disqualifies your future. Burn the idea that comfort is the goal. Do you think Ford changed the world in comfort? Do you think Carnegie built an empire in comfort? Do you think Oprah, Jobs, Edison, Mandela, do you think any of them rose by staying warm and safe and liked? No, they rose because they lit a match to their excuses. They stopped negotiating with their limits. They stopped waiting to be ready. They stepped forward shaking, sweating, doubted, and built anyway. That is the difference. You see, success is not complicated, but it is violent. It requires the death of who you used to be, the old habits, the dead weight. The toxic voices you keep around just because they're familiar. The belief that the world owes you something. It owes you nothing, but you owe yourself everything. You owe it to the child you used to be, the one who still believes in you when the lights go out. You owe it to your family, your future, your vision. You owe it to the world, because your gifts, your voice, your story, someone out there is waiting for them, but they will never see them. If you keep hiding behind excuses, let me ask you something. What have your excuses cost you? How many years have you waited for the perfect moment? How many dreams have you buried in the graveyard of maybe later? How many times have you watched someone with less talent, less experience, less intelligence build the life you wanted? You didn't lose because you lacked potential. You lost because you defended your excuses like they were facts. But facts can be changed, history can be rewritten, and destiny is waiting for a new author. This is the rewrite. This is the day the excuses die, because the truth is, every excuse has a root, and every root has a story. And if you trace it far enough, you'll find it leads to a moment where you believed the lie. Maybe someone told you you weren't good enough. Maybe you failed once and called it permanent. Maybe you grew up around small minds with small dreams who mocked the very idea of greatness. But what if that wasn't the truth? What if that was just chapter 1? And what if the rest of the book is unwritten, waiting on you? Here's the law no one can escape. You can have excuses, or you can have results. But you cannot have both. You can stay safe, or you can grow. You can be liked, or you can be legendary. You can stay where it's easy, or go where it's earned. But don't lie to yourself and pretend that maybe someday is a plan. Someday is where dreams go to die. Builders don't wait. Builders move, even when it's messy, even when it's hard, even when the world says you're not ready. Because builders know clarity comes through action, strength comes through repetition, confidence comes through war. The real you is not soft, not passive, not average. The real you is a force, but you've been numbed. By comfort, by culture, by the constant scrolling and comparing. You've been trained to doubt, trained to wait, trained to seek validation before movement. But builders don't ask for permission, They declare, they design, they deliver. And every single day, they wake up and choose progress over perfection. They don't need the whole staircase, they take the first step, and then the next. Because they know, discipline is the death of excuses, and discipline. That's your new God now, not motivation, that fades, not inspiration, that flutters, but discipline, that's devotion, that's sacred, waking up early when no one's watching, making the call no one else will, lifting the weight your mind says is too heavy, sitting down to write, to build, to bleed for the vision you swore was yours. You think discipline is hard. Try regret. Try explaining to your future self why you settled. Try living with the knowing that you had it in you, but you let it die. No. You were not built for a life of excuses. You were built to endure, to evolve, to execute. Now listen carefully. There is a version of you on the other side of every excuse who is already living the life you crave. They don't have more time. They don't have more luck. They just made a different choice. They chose to burn. They chose to silence the doubt. To cut the rope. To light the fire and never look back. And if you want to meet them, you must become them. From this moment forward, the past is irrelevant. I don't care what you did or didn't do yesterday. Excuses are ashes now. And from those ashes, you will build. Build the mindset. Build the habits. Build the vision. Build the work. Build the version of yourself that does not flinch, fold, or flee. The version of you who finishes. Because here's the final truth. You are the architect. No more blaming. No more waiting. No more hiding. Burn the excuses. And build a life. The one that haunts your dreams. The one they said you couldn't have. The one that sets your blood on fire. This is your time. Pick up the hammer. Pick up the blueprint. Pick up your spine. And start building like your soul depends on it, because it does. There comes a moment. A moment when silence speaks louder than noise. When your life starts asking questions your excuses can't answer. Why are you still waiting? Why are you still shrinking? Why are you still pretending you were made for less? You feel it, don't you? That ache in your chest, that pulse behind your ribs, that quiet rebellion that rises every time you settle, that is your soul knocking on the walls of your comfort, and it will keep knocking until you answer. Because the truth is, you don't need more time, you don't need more information, you don't need another motivational quote or another YouTube video. You need one thing, a decision, not a wish, not a maybe, not a when it's convenient. A decision to burn it all down. Every excuse. Every lie. Every identity that was built on fear. You cannot build the life of your dreams on the foundation of your limitations. You must clear the rubble. You must burn the past. And then you build. You build with what you have, with shaky hands, with tired eyes, with wounds still healing. You build anyway. You build when they laugh. You build when they doubt. You build when no one believes in it, but you, because that's what greatness looks like in the beginning. It doesn't look like applause. It looks like isolation. It looks like sacrifice. It looks like you, in a room, at 4 a.m., saying, I'm not stopping. Not this time. There will be days when the vision is blurry. Days when your progress feels invisible. Days when your mind screams, turn back. But hear this, if you keep walking through the storm, you will become the storm. If you keep walking through the fire, you will become the fire. Because every excuse you kill becomes fuel. Every fear you face becomes armor. Every delay you overcome becomes proof that you are becoming unstoppable. Think about the ones who did it. Think about Nelson Mandela, sitting in a prison cell for 27 years. He could have made excuses. He could have said, the system is too big. But he burned the excuse and he changed a nation. Think about Thomas Edison, failing 10,000 times in the dark. He could have stopped. He could have said, I guess the light isn't for me. But he burned the excuse and he gave the world electricity. Think about Malala Yousafzai, a teenage girl, shot in the head just for going to school. She could have said, I'm too young. I'm too wounded. I'm too afraid. But she burned the excuse and became a voice for millions. What's your excuse? Again. Understand this. The enemy isn't fear. The enemy is your surrender to fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to obey it. It's waking up and showing up. Even when the voices tell you it's pointless. Even when the odds are stacked, even when the dream looks impossible, because the dream isn't asking if you're ready. It's asking if you're willing to go alone, willing to risk, willing to look foolish for a season in order to build a lifetime of greatness. And once you start moving, momentum becomes your friend. You no longer need motivation. You have conviction. You no longer need cheerleaders. You have clarity. You no longer beg life to make it easy. You ask life to make you stronger. This is when the shift happens. You stop identifying as a victim. You stop talking like the world owes you something. You stop playing defense with your destiny. You start speaking like a builder. I will not be outworked. I will not be outlasted. I will not be seduced by comfort again. And when life punches, you punch back harder. Because now you know who you are. Not just a dreamer. Not just a thinker. Not just another voice in the crowd. You are the builder of a future that was once only a vision in your mind. You are the fire that refuses to go out. You are the one who chose to stand when every excuse told you to sit. Let them sleep. Let them doubt. Let them mock what they don't understand. You're not here to be understood. You're here to build. And in the end, results make more noise than opinions. So go. Go build the morning routine. Go build the business. Go build the book, the body, the brand, the family, the future. No more delay. No more someday. No more asking for permission. Your permission slip is your breath. And if you're breathing, then it's time. Time to sacrifice. Time to sweat. Time to stretch into the version of you who finishes what they start. The version of you who lives on. Discipline. Who walks with vision. Who leads with purpose. Not because it's easy, but because you can't live small anymore. This world is drowning in excuses. Drowning in average. Drowning in people who forgot what they were born for. Don't join them. Rise above. Take the bricks they threw at you and build with them. Take the delays and use them for development. Take the doubt and let it sharpen your determination. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. This is the one life you get. The one shot. The one chance to stop being the version of yourself who watches from the sidelines. Stop scrolling and start building. Stop wishing and start working. Stop excusing and start executing, because no one builds your life but you. And the moment you understand that, the excuses burn themselves, and in the glow of those ashes rises the real you. Clear. Unstoppable. Free. Now go burn the excuses. Build the life, and don't you ever look back.